Dr. Marton with us. He's a gynecologist from Sweden, and I saw him reading a book about history of midwifery. So I've just requested him to share whatever he is reading with all of us. So please welcome Dr. Marton.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Bushra. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, nice to see you again. I was here just the other day talking about cesarean sections. Had a great discussion, thank you for that. Well, I was reading this book, and I'm surprised every time about the history in my country, because it's so obvious for me that the history of midwifery in Sweden is very much intervened and intertwined with the history of how to reduce maternal mortality. And this is a very fascinating story. I think I might have told you that we had our first midwives in Sweden it was over 300 years ago. And that I was amazed about. And over 200 years, this education of midwives has been regulated. So the medical council in Sweden has made sure what is a midwife, for how long is she trained, and what is the purpose of a midwife. And this is very fascinating. It's a long time. And during the 19th century, so from 1800 to 1900, we saw that gradually the midwives were replacing the traditional birth attendants in the homes. So during the 19th century we had home deliveries. I'm reading fascinating stories about midwives traveling by foot for 10 hours to a mother in labor, and she attends her birth. And you could see that the maternal mortality rate goes down from 500 in 100,000 births to 200 in 100,000 births during this time. And a big focus for the midwife in the home setting is the antiseptic care. She's very careful. You can read stories about her training with all wood that is there to have a fire, so have antiseptic materials and all these things. And this is very important, because at this time we did not have any antibiotics, of course. So that's fascinating. In the beginning of the 20th century, we had a low nativity in Sweden, so the birth rates were low per woman. And I think this made a dramatic change, so that the births were going from home to they were institutionalized very quick in the first quarter of the century. And during this time, Sweden and the midwives came with the doctors to the hospitals as well. So. And during this time, the maternal mortality rate was 1/3 of that in the United States. So United States and all other countries were actually coming to Sweden, because we were at that time were leading in maternal mortality. The institutionalization of the birth were driven by doctors, but also by the women. They came very gladly. They stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks for postnatal care, and this was, many women described this with very big words as a good period where they could really relax from the duties at home and have a meal every day given by the government. They could chat with their maternal friends in the same room, and this was a very happy period. So I think this was institutionalization went so fast because the government wanted it, because they wanted to increase the nativity. The doctors had new ways of reduce the pain in labor and this was something that the woman wanted, and the woman wanted this postnatal care, I think. And then of course, you know, the antibiotics and the transfusions came, and the maternal mortality rate dropped even further. In the beginning of the 20th century, it was established that the midwives should also have maternal care in the antenatal period. So we established that 150 years ago, something like this. And it gradually grew through the 20th century. So we have a history of home birth, where we replaced where the traditional birth attendants were replaced in the 19th century. In the beginning of the 20th century, we hospitalized the births, and during this time we also had developed the maternal care in the antenatal period. So in the mid 20th century, more than 90% of women were receiving good antenatal care by midwives, and this reduced the maternal mortality rate even more. I'm very happy to read this book, actually, because this is done because the midwives, they united in a union, and they had an association of midwives, and it was created in late 19th century. And from this time they had their newspaper that came every month, I think. And in this newspaper, midwives were sharing their experience. So since 150 years we have many stories of births by midwives in this paper, and this is really something I stress you to do as well. When you are, you are the leading stars in Pakistan, and unite, make an association, have a paper where you can share experience, and through this I think you can share what you're doing to the rest of the country. You can share experience. You can become better together. So maybe in 50 years or something, you will also write the book of midwives in Pakistan, and someone like me will read it and be very amazed. So why not? So this is what I wanted to share with you, and I'm very happy to see that you are so well educated here, and hopefully very soon the bachelor program will also be active, inshallah, if the government wants it. You know, in the beginning of the 19th century, the government was not the driving force, but they were willing to accept the changes that the doctors, mainly, and the doctors suggested, because there was a low nativity rate. This is not the case here, so yet, but hopefully the government can see the benefit of good maternal care.
Thank you.